Welcome to the Sigma Show, episode 64, like the Nintendo 64. I'm Sigma, your host. Before I let you know who's joining me today, real quick, we'll go over what our topics will be. Still kind of a slow time period for video game news, but rumors still are alive and well, and that's all we'll be talking about today for the most part. First rumor, Xbox is working on a Mandalorian MMO. So we'll talk about what expectations might be for something like this, what maybe folks are hoping for, what folks don't want out of a supposed Mandalorian MMO. So that should be a fun convo. And the next rumor, though it's an even bigger rumor, it has even less information to go on. So take this with, a full cup of salt, if you like. Ooh. But supposedly,
Too much sodium.
Recently, WB and Discovery did merge. We're aware of this. And WB Discovery might now be looking to divest itself of its gaming studios. This doesn't include the IP, like say, Rocksteady going to whatever. But we'll get into it. We'll get into the nitty-gritty. But it's another big rumor that should be a fun conversation. But here to talk with me about them today is Marty Sleva.
Hey, everybody. I'm really excited about the whole 64 thing.
Yeah, Rexicon Jesse.
Hey, everybody. I just got slapped on the wrist by Nightbot for spamming caps.
What? Oh, yeah, Nightbot doesn't like that, but I tried to disable Nightbot, but it now has a mind of its own.
I literally thought Nightbot was a person, and I was like, how'd they type that arrow? How do you type an arrow? Where?
Man, and Superman Jeff.
Hey, yip, yip.
Yip, yip, indeed, Jeff.
Yip, yip, indeed.
Yep, yep.
So thanks for joining me once again, guys. We'll warm things up since we only have the two rumor topics with some what you've been playing, what you've been watching, etc., etc. Anybody been watching or playing anything interesting that they want to get off their chest first off?
I just started. We bought, what was it? Fatal Frame, Lady of Blackwater.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, okay. How old is that game? Is that like a new one?
It was.
New version?
Yes, it was released. I think it was a Wii U exclusive. Which tells you how many people probably played it. And then they re-released it for the Switch and Steam, I think late last year. And it was on sale. And I was like, yep, time to get it. So we snagged that on the Switch and downloaded it. And by the time we downloaded it and started playing, I was like, I'm really tired. I gotta go to bed. But it's cool so far. The first 30 minutes are fun.
That was last night. That was last night.
Ringing endorsement.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally.
How spooky? Like on a scale of like 1 to super spooky.
It's not super spooky yet. It's got it's building a tense atmosphere because Fatal Frame 2 and 3 were really good. Very tense, very spooky. Okay, really good in the spooky factor. Gameplay stuff, they got some issues. But this seems to be sticking to some of those things that they did, which I like, and it's a very weird spiritual element to the horror, which allows for that sort of ability to ignore logic of you're in an old in Fatal Frame 2 and 3 you're in an old abandoned Japanese house and there's paper doors but you can't get through because it's locked. It's paper. I could just freaking I know I'm a skinny woman, but I could just shoulder check my way through here. It doesn't matter. But
unless it's like construction paper, that's too hard to get through. That's that thick paper.
Yeah, it's got construction in the name. That's how you know it's the real stuff.
Yeah.
But so it has okay, well, there's something spiritual stopping me. It's weird, it's different, it adds that element. So I like seeing part of that in it. You get to play 3 different characters. So far, I'm really intrigued. Again, barely started it, but I'm very excited because we're both pretty big fans of Fatal Frame.
Nice.
Very cool. And I feel like we're there's a lack of single player spooky games.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the last big one was, but it seems like the spooky stuff is all veered towards a lot of the Dead by Daylight and that kind of stuff. Which isn't I don't know. Yeah. I feel like once you're multiplayer, you can't be spooky.
I'll make a case for Dead by Daylight still having some good spookiness, which is why I like it so much and that tension. But it is infinitely harder to make a multiplayer game spooky. Totally agree with that one.
Especially a competitive multiplayer game. Maybe a co-op. A co-op could be spooky.
Isn't there a remake for Alan Wake in the works?
Yes.
There is, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
But I feel like most people never really considered Alan Wake spooky. I know Jesse didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I know it was billed as a horror game, but I thought it was.
I thought Alan Wake was more neat than spooky. which I don't know if that really. Yeah, and I guess you get like hints of spookiness and other stuff because like elements of control I thought were spooky. I'd get scared. I felt like it was a jump scare every time that bold font would appear when I entered a new area, and I'd be like,
like the washroom.
Yeah, like announce yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Does that do it for you, Jesse, or you've been watching anything interesting as well?
Oh my gosh, I know we started watching something recently. We made, don't spoil it for me. We were watching BattleBots 2021. That season.
All right, I'll hold off all the spoilers that I have in my head about BattleBots.
Is that like regular BattleBots from robots who fight each other?
Yeah, from like last year's season. And they got to the top 32, and we downloaded the sheet and made brackets of who we think will win. And I'm very excited to see how wrong we are.
Dude, you are really into those BattleBots. Jesus.
Yeah, they're amazing. If you
just do like a Super Bowl pool.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's a great mix of like high octane like combat, like UFC, like oh my gosh, these things are just pounding each other like destruction derby style thing with like the niche odd personalities that come with something as dedicated and weird as building robots to destroy each other. Like it's such a beautiful mix of nerdy things and like just absolute carnage. It's really fun. I love it so much.
Is there like a humanity angle to it? Like, do you get to know the bot builders?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They do a lot of interviews with people. Like, whoever wins, they pretty much always interview. Sometimes they interview the losers. There's always like bumps in between each fight to like get information from the pits. Like, you get to see like how teams sometimes help each other out. So like, you know, someone's part's not working, and another team will just come in and help them out. Like,
that's nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's like one person.
It's more wholesome than I was expecting for robot murders.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of humanity for robot murders. Like, there's one person who's kind of made the villain of the whole thing.
I feel like all reality shows have that.
Right.
Where like,
yeah, which either that dude is an absolute dick, or they do an amazing job in editing to make him look like a dick. And there's like a few other people. There's like one other person that's like, I don't like him, but maybe. And then most of the people are just absolutely lovable. And you want them to win. And it's sad when you see people fight each other and they're like, oh, I want both of them to win.
I have a pitch for you. So last night you were talking about that show, Too Hot to Handle. What if you take that and you take BattleBots, and then you have this story where like the robots end up like going off camera and like trying to do like weird like robot stuff. And if they get caught, then they have to like lose some of their bolts, their pieces.
They have to fight to the death if they get caught.
Yeah. Oh my god, that could be brutal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Move over, Squid Game.
My lovers turned enemies.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I am on board with this pitch, Marty.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
The ultimatum robot style. So either you accept the marriage proposal or you fight to the death.
I love it. I think it's good.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So does that do it for you, Jesse, in terms of what you've been playing, watching, enjoying?
Probably, yeah. We'll go with that.
Sure, why not? All right.
I don't want to take up anyone else's time. I went first.
I can go next because I've really not been playing anything that I can talk about. Like, I've been playing stuff that you guys already know. Like, I play Smash, whatever. Every waking moment, I have an opportunity. I'll jump on Smash.
Do you?
I haven't seen you on
But
I like when I'm streaming
I
like when I'm streaming a Switch game and you get outed because it says
right, because that happened recently.
And I'm always like, oh, surprise.
But I streamed yesterday a little bit of Smash because I was toying with the idea of kind of going with a new main. Like I've had a couple of instances now where like I jump on because I've been experimenting with a bunch of different characters. Like I love Toon Link, but like I'll play with a bunch of other characters, maybe get them to Elite Smash, maybe not, but then go back to Toon Link and just do straight up awful with Toon Link. And like it got to the point where Toon Link is like my highest GSP, which is like the ranking system in Smash Online by far. But I dropped him somewhere like 1.5 million below like the gateway to just be an Elite Smash. And I was like, okay, this is like kind of unprecedented. I've never been this bad with this character before. So like after several hours of grinding him back up to just being in Elite Smash, I was like, would this be easier with like any other character? Because I feel like when I was playing with Snake, like it felt more fun and more easy to like get more wins than I was getting losses. Like I would lose, sure, but like the ratio just seemed way out of place. Like with other characters like Captain Falcon, it's very hit or miss. Like I'll do very bad and then I'll do very good. And I don't feel like I can make him a main because of how inconsistent I play with him. And if Toon Link starts to feel like that, then like why would I consider him my main? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I started experimenting, and weirdly enough, Toon Link was playing very consistently on stream, which is also hard to do. Like I tend to play worse when I'm on stream, but Toon Link had no losses that whole stream. Other characters I played with did okay and moderately better, but I don't know. Like I want to change. I'm thinking about changing, but I don't know. There's a philosophical connection between me and me and the Legend of Zelda links or whatever. Like I'd prefer to have one of them at least be my main. But I don't know. Like next up would probably be Snake at this point, honestly. And he's not a character that other than like Metal Gear Solid 1 being like an important reminder of how games changed for me, like how I realized games could be like more as more than like a toy, but like more of like an interactive storytelling medium. Other than that, like I'm not the biggest Metal Gear guy. Like I played the Twin Snakes version, and then I played half of 5. That's it.
Well, you're slowly becoming a big Metal Gear guy.
Yeah.
Maybe over time, sure. Yeah, because we're going through the first one now.
That is
like not that I ever hated it or anything.
Yeah, that is interesting. Like there's characters that I am so bad at playing in Smash, but I want to love because I love their games. Like I am so bad at Ness and Lucas, but like I love Earthbound, and so I want to play as them, but I'm like, well, this is just pointless. Whereas, like, I think like the character I'm most comfortable with is Captain Falcon. I don't really care about F-Zero.
You don't care about F-Zero?
I don't care about cars or the future, but like, I like that guy.
See, I like F-Zero a lot. I don't like Captain Falcon in F-Zero a lot. Like, I liked Red Gazelle in that game. That was my main car.
Oh, okay. Okay. Man, you know the names of the cars. That's impressive.
Right. Yeah, I played the crap out of, and it's the 64th episode, F-Zero X on the N64. So I wish I still had access to that game. But Nintendo wants to force me, like $15, $20 a month to get access to F-Zero X?
Okay. That's wild exaggeration. $50 a year.
It's almost better. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so been playing some Smash. In terms of watching, I've been keeping up with Atlanta. Like the episodes are airing now. And me and my fiance are watching them as they come out. Like we watched the most recent 2, I want to say last night or 2 nights ago.
Interesting.
And I know Jeff thinks it's interesting because I don't keep up with like any of the other animes or whatever.
It's like the worst person I have as a friend if you expect him to watch something as it comes out.
I don't get why this is your stipulation for friendship, though.
That's very high on my list of requirements for friendship. I'm just letting you know this.
Like, watch the same shows I do at the same time I do, if you were to call me friend. It's just weird. I don't know. But no, and like Atlanta's fantastic show. This most recent season 3, is weirdly enough not taking place in Atlanta, right? Like they're like the group, the main cast is on tour, so like they're in Europe, in like different countries here and there. But also they're doing a thing that they did a tiny bit of in the previous seasons, where there are kind of one-off episodes that have nothing to do with the actual cast, but just take place in the world that they live in.
How do you feel about those episodes?
I really like them. Like, I'm absolutely in love with the fact that he kind of gets to experiment with, like, these kind of just mini movies that dive into, like, super interesting concepts that, of course, all have the undercurrent of, like, race relations, right? The most recent one, and I don't want to spoil it, but it is absolutely brilliant. Like, it basically tells you, like, what happens when, like, a white affluent family has an immigrant caretaker be the primary caretaker for their kid, and the influence that has on the kid. Like, which is a story we've seen before. Like, we've seen that joke in media before. But then they remove the caretaker from the equation, and it's just the parents now left to deal with their kid, who is basically has taken on all the characteristics of this black immigrant. And, like, it is fascinating. It's super hilarious. Like, it's super interesting to see how they push back against it, but also want to be accepting of it because they're very liberal parents and whatnot. But at the same time, like, they're still very divorced from the culture, and they have their own values that might be at odds with that culture. And it's like this is super interesting. I can't imagine how this idea came into somebody's head to tell this kind of story. Like, I've just never seen it anywhere before.
Yeah, and the same thing
so
with
I'm absolutely in love with this season.
Like the episode about reparations, and then the episode
about that one,
the like white liberal, the couple who adopts the black kids and like what they're like what's happening with them. I love the fact that like Donald Glover said like he's super happy that like Atlanta became a big enough thing to where he got carte blanche with what they want to do, and then he's like, well, we could just make mini movies every week, and like like every other episode can be about like Earn and Paperboy and Val and everything.
And those are still like really good episodes.
I really like all the European stuff. Yeah, I like the one like the haunted theater and everything. Like that was really cool.
Yeah. Oh my, that was, and it was legitimately scary and intense.
The way they shot that,
but in a weird way. Mm-hmm. Like it's so good. Like it's like the energy of these scenes, no matter who's in them, like doesn't matter what characters are involved, the story that's behind the events of these characters interacting with each other is always fascinating to watch. Like I'm always on the edge of my seat, whether it's because it's so awkward or because it's legitimately like scary and tense.
I mean, the main 4 cast is like incredible. Like they're absolutely like incredible. Like no matter like every episode, I'm like, okay, Lakeith Stanfield's probably like the most talented person on this show, and then I'll be like, oh, no, I think like it might be Donald Glover, and then I'm like, oh no, like Paperboy, it's incredible, good stuff.
I'm waiting for the season.
I'm really enjoying it.
I'm waiting for the season to finish.
Good. You know what? I appreciate
episode 6 was this week, I think.
Episode 6 was this week.
So should be soon.
But I mean, that's part of the reason, right? Like it's not, at least not this season, it's not telling a super continuous story. Like you could almost watch these episodes completely out of order, even the ones that do follow the guys. Like, not 100%, but you'd still be able to get the gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
So like watching it week to week, like I'm not chomping at the bits for the next one. You know what I mean? So it's easier to handle.
It also had my
DOG in chat says hats off to Dong Lover.
Dong Lover. It also had one of my favorite TV moments in recent memory. I think it was in the first, not the very first episode, but the second episode of the season with the Tupac assisted suicide. I don't know how to describe it. Oh my God,
yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But the way that ended, and that's not a spoiler because out of context, that's literally just like word soup.
That could mean anything,
yeah. That's just like a game of Boggle. Oh yeah, Tupac assisted suicide. Good stuff. Incredible show.
Okay. But that. I'll chime in. I've been recently watching a lot of a YouTuber named Daniel Eason, who does music documentaries. And he'll just kind of do like a full history of a particular artist. I've been watching his The Genius of ... series. I think there's 5 episodes out now. Of course, I watched the one on Kanye. It actually had information that was not present in the Netflix documentary. Like, I didn't know this boy lived for a year in China with his mother.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Like there's footage and pictures of it. So, like, that's just interesting. Like, it didn't really seem to come into play in the rest of his life or whatnot. At least not in overt ways. But the way he incorporates, like, the music that the artist has made with the parts of that artist's story that he's telling is, like, super interesting. It's like he'll be telling you about the relationship between Kanye and his mother while playing the song Hey Mama in the background.
Oh, that's cool.
And, like, it kind of gives it, like, this really cool... It adds emotional weight to a song that if you're a fan, at least, that you're aware of. If you didn't know, now you get more context as to like how this song came about, why this song exists, and stuff like that. I watched one for The Weeknd, which was really good, and also for Frank Ocean. So I think the only ones left are Travis Scott, who I don't listen to, and Billie Eilish, who I won't listen to. So I think I'm probably done
Wait,
with that.
why are you anti-Eilish?
I tried to listen to Eilish because I keep hearing her name all over the place, and the one song I listened to was supposedly like her biggest song. Mm-hmm. To this day, I cannot remember what that song is. Like, it left zero impression on me.
You listen to it,
and like that just doesn't speak to good music, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, like, it's supposed to, like, she's a pop artist, but pop songs are supposed to be the most
like earworms,
infectious.
Yeah.
Like, I if I heard it again today, it would be the first time I heard that song.
She also did James Bond song. We could just keep.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it. Yeah, you talked about that. I don't remember what that song sounds like. Like, how does music just completely drop out of your brain?
Wait,
like,
she did a James Bond song too?
She did the most recent one.
No, that's what we were talking about yesterday.
I heard you saying Eilish while we were talking about James Bond, and I was just sure that I had missed some connective tissue.
Yeah.
And we were now on a new subject. Wow, I did not know that.
Olivia
things sound
Rodrigo and
so
Avril
far from
Lavigne
each
did a
other.
Bond song. No,
That
they
is
did
not true.
That was,
Okay.
that was not true.
That's not. I had to think about it for a second. Like, hold on.
Those Brosnan years got weird. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for me. Who else has been playing and watching?
I've been playing
Funny when
watching.
he called you out, Marty. He said, "Talk about Olivia Rodrigo next."
Yeah, I gotta give what the
She knew
audience
it was coming.
wants. Gotta give what the audience wants. Yeah, I've been. It is like a crazy time for TV. Like I'm keeping up with like 100 different shows. I'd be Superman Jeff's best friend. I'm keeping up on everything.
Exactly. You know. Exactly. See,
Step aside, Casey.
Marty gets it.
But yeah, Atlanta's great. Better Call Saul has been phenomenal. The last episode.
Yeah, I just
was,
finished season 5. Actually, I forgot to mention.
Oh
that.
my god! So you haven't watched any of season 6?
No, I'll wait till that's done.
Okay.
That's a show where it's like I need to know what's coming next.
Gotcha. This try to remain unspoiled. Not that like I don't know, like you know where it ends, so kind of hard to be spoiled.
Kinda,
but this
yeah.
last episode was incredible. Episode 3, like absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, keeping up with that. I've been watching Winning Time. That's the Lakers show on HBO.
That's pretty good. That is. Really
Yeah,
good.
which is really good, and it's funny that the real Jerry West like wants to sue HBO for. He said he wants to
wow,
take it
I
to the
didn't know
Supreme
that.
Court. I'm like Jerry West, what are you
Wow.
doing? Yeah, what else? I'm trying to think what's been on my list. I watched the first episode of Spy Family or Spy X Family.
Oh
or
my
Spy
god, that
Cross
was
Family.
really good.
Yeah,
I think you just ignore the X in those titles.
like is Hunt, so
Yeah,
Hunter
it's
Hunter.
hard to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people just call it Hunter Hunter, but
Okay.
I've heard people say Hunter X
X
Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Spy Family was very. It caught me off guard. Like I watched, like I know this is one of the new spring anime. Let me watch it, and then it sucked me right in. The little girl is just
Oh yeah.
like so funny.
Yeah, it's really good, and that's one of those that There's not a lot of anime that I watch week to week. Like I'm like live action shows, almost all of them I watch week to week. Whereas anime, I'm more apt to wait till the end of the season. I also watch a lot of anime dub, which I know is like sacrilegious for folks, but
They're
I don't know.
great.
Those folks have way too much time.
Also,
on
I
their
think
hands to
I
be
think
mad at
like the
that.
dubbing is generally good now. It's not like like the early '90s where the dubbing is like, ooh, what the hell is going on here? And it's also like I second screen a lot of stuff. Like I'll be playing a game or doing something else while something's on in the background, which you can't really.
Have
do
you
with.
have you ever thought perhaps the reason why you need to go back and rewatch everything before
because
the
I'm
new thing
only
comes
paying
out?
half
It's because you're never paying attention when you're watching the thing the first time.
I like the idea.
Because my fiance legit does that. Like she'll be like, "Oh, put on what's in it? We'll watch together." And as soon as it starts, she's on her phone, like
Yeah.
on Instagram, or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah, I just bring my Switch into movie theaters, and I play my Switch while in the theater. I'm like, what was going on? What did Doctor Strange just do? Yeah, so it's just good time for TV. Yeah, I'm caught up to date with Moon Knight, which I've been like kind of underwhelmed by Moon Knight.
really? Okay. Because I've been hearing nothing but like praise for it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was out.
Wow. Oh man.
Yeah, and it's the 5th of the 6th episode is this week, and it's the end.
Yeah.
So it'll be done on Wednesday. I do like that. Again, maybe I'm not liking it because I'm just doing other shit. Maybe I should just pay attention to it. Maybe I'm the problem.
You are the common denominator here.
Yeah, seriously. But I do like that it is completely, as of right now, divorced from the greater MCU, which I think is nice. If people sort of had problems with like, you always have to somehow tie something into the blip, or how is this going to lead into the next movie? As of yet, there's just none of that, which is nice. And I don't know, maybe the 6th episode will like introduce or bring in like the
They talk about a couple of things, but they don't like go out of their
overtly.
way. Yeah, they don't go out of their
Yeah.
way to say, "Oh, this stuff is connected," or show people coming back from the blip. They do like
Yeah.
small things, like the global relocation.
Oh, from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, like they had
Yeah.
a poster of that up. Like stuff like that is
Mhm.
cool. But I do
Yeah.
like that it's like completely separate, which gives it so much creative freedom to do kind of whatever it wants to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see like in the 6th episode. Like, I could see them bringing in who was the Jon Snow character from Eternals.
Black Knight.
Johnny Sword. Yeah, Black Knight. That was it. Because it feels like him and Blade would probably like occupy a similar like spooky corner of the MCU. Yeah.
Yeah, Blade.
They're all in that.
Spoilers maybe for
that-
Eternals, but Blade was like kind of hinted at in the post credits for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Eternals, right?
legitimately. It was Mahershala Ali's like
Yeah.
voice in that last.
I don't know if it was
scene.
hinted, but it was definitely his voice. Because like if you put subtitles on, it says Blade.
Oh, does it? Oh,
Yeah, but also
I didn't realize
theaters, I didn't know it was Mahershala Ali's voice, and I was like, "Who's that? Who's that man? Like, who doesn't want that man to touch a sword?" Yeah,
they should put subtitles in movie theaters.
you can see. I've seen some movies closed caption. You got to go to like specific screenings. It's like me and the olds. It's like me and a bunch of elderlies. I saw West Side Story.
Oh, go ahead.
I saw West Side Story with closed captions, which was very strange because they do a lot of singing in that movie. So that was a weird.
So they just put the music note in front of the words.
Yeah,
and you're good to go.
That's singing. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and then in terms of games, I'm still jamming through my second playthrough of 13 Sentinels: Aegis Rim, which I love. I think it's great. If y'all into weeb shit, check that out. It's just it's like robos and time travel and high schoolers and talking cats and little ETs and all sorts of great stuff.
You got me with 4 out of 5 of those, so I think I do need to.
I wonder what the one you don't like is. Talking cats?
Nope. Love talking cats.
Robos?
Nope. Like robos.
Time travel?
Nope. Love time travel. It's my favorite.
Do you not like high schoolers?
Not really. I was a high schooler once, and like that's a time better left in the past.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I have no nostalgia for like, oh, the high school years, and it's like, no, that was.
We were talking about that. I think on Post CP about why like Japanese art, like anime and games and stuff, seems to have this like overt focus on high school years and why that is. And a lot of folks think it's because that's sort of like the last like vestige of sort of like freedom and youth and innocence in Japanese culture before you enter the workforce or enter your path towards the workforce where everything becomes regimented. Right. So
yeah, because most of like Japanese culture, like after you get your job, that's just what you do, right? Like you don't shift around and become something else.
Yeah.
It's like the B movie. Like once you get that job, that's all you do for the rest of your life. If you're a
Did
star,
you say the B movie?
Did you say the B movie?
Yeah, you see the B movie?
Jerry Seinfeld?
Like with Jerry Seinfeld?
Where Barry B. Benson, he didn't want to pick a job because his dad was like,
Did you name the character from the B movie?
My son used to love that movie. I think I've seen it like maybe like 30 times. Maybe more than that. So,
So now it becomes a frame of reference.
It does.
When you talk about making life decisions.
Yeah. I feel like you can't get mad at KC for not staying up with stuff when you are talking about the movie. Doesn't he like date like a human woman in that?
Yeah, there's like a weird love triangle between a bee and a human lady.
Wait, that's not a triangle, Casey. That's just 2 points.
Yeah.
It was a triangle.
No, she was married, wasn't she?
No, she was kind of like dating a guy, kind of.
Could you imagine if your partner left you for a bee?
What if it was an occupational thing, though? Like, hey, I can't dedicate my time to you because I need to save the bees.
Yeah, she was a florist, so it checks out.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know. It just sounds like a future Batman villain.
So stupid.
Wait, the woman or the bee?
Story. Yeah,
both. Like they're together in this.
Koenig with a good point. Better a bee than a wasp. Aren't wasps just like boy bees? Is that not? Like,
no. I don't think that's the case at all.
All right, well, fuck. All right, never
Wasps
mind.
are bees with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Wasps are bees if they spawn from the devil's urethra. That's a wasp.
Okay. It's like bees who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks.
Like, shout out to Jesse's RPG Help Desk. Remember how you mentioned you hate that certain races in fiction are kind of typed as evil?
Yeah.
Right.
In this case, wasps are biologically evil.
Yeah, they are. They're born evil.
They're the orcs. Never met a good orc in the Lord of the Rings. Just think about it.
Have we?
Have you? Tell me.
In Lord of the Rings? No, right?
They were all working for the
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
But
that's part of the problem.
Lord of the Rings is from the perspective of the other side. You don't get the time to learn about the orcs.
That's true.
Everybody's the hero of their own story.
Also, the only orcs you see are the orcs that are indoctrinated in the military.
That's true, because that one orc says meat's back on the menu, boys, when they're going to eat one of the hobbits, and that implies that there's like a restaurant industry, and so there might be like a sweet ratatouille story with an orc.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I thought you were gonna go for like a more like
burger.
poverty angle, like just like, oh, they haven't had meat in so long because their conditions are so poor. But like, you don't get that part of the story.
No,
they weren't picky with what they ate. They started eating each other. The orcs started
That's
eating
true.
it was like
Yeah, that's pure desperation.
Yeah.
That's a sad story. That is.
Yeah, they're not like wasps at
That's
all.
not evil.
Biologically, they just have no like we're humans theoretically. I guess I don't remember if this is real or not. Have problems when you eat other humans and cannibalisms, but orcs, they're it's perfectly fine. It's just like eating a cow.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I wouldn't
want
have
it to make sense.
I
but
wouldn't
it
have a
does.
problem eating another person. I think it'd be fun.
All right, let's move on now to our next. Jeff, what you been playing?
Okay, playing. I haven't been playing much. More Elden Ring. I think I beat Malekith, the Black Blade, right before the stream, so that was fun.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to get him all his little 9 death roots to the beast dude before I went to fight him, because it changes the dialogue a little bit. So I got him all his little death roots and went and fought him. He was a little difficult in the beginning because
He's tough.
Yeah, he moves around a lot. Like his first phase, it wasn't too bad, but that second phase, man, he's all over the place. And so, like, his sword reach is just so long, and he'll start in one direction and then go in another. And then he's using that same ability where he can kind of cut your health down, like permanently take away a block of your health. So like you can't gain it back during that fight. So
during the fight, okay,
yeah.
like
you get it back after. I mean, I'd be messed up if you didn't.
I'll be like, wow, they are wilding.
Permanent effect, like you.
Demon Souls did that. The boss.
Yeah, Demon Souls did do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, no, it wasn't permanent though. You had to like regain your humanity, which was a huge task. But I don't think it was Oh no, I take it back.
The final boss of Demon Souls had an ability to.
Yeah, he would take away levels.
You're right.
Yeah, he would literally
take soul levels.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Man, sounds like fun.
You're close. You're pretty close to the end though.
Yeah, I've been trying to do all the bosses. I've been trying to do every boss that's in the game. Then I like to do on Mondays. I usually do a little PvP stream, so I'll do nothing but invasions and go through different weapons and stuff like that. So it's been pretty fun. The PvP stuff is pretty cool. I can't wait. If it's true that they're opening like a Coliseum, that's going to be a lot of fun too. Because what happens is you go into a world, and to me, I don't like the change in how invasions work, where you're going into most games where there's 3 other people in there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're inviting invasions, it should be something that you want this. So why are we waiting with 3 people? Like it took away how it was in the Dark Souls games, where it was a random invasion. You could go into a game with 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. It was still within a certain amount of levels of you, but there was not like every game you go into there's 3 people. And some invasions, they'll fight you one-on-one, like they'll take turns. Most of them, not so much. You go in and it's just like, and I don't mind if it's 3 people right off the bat. Like if it's 3 people and I know I'm fighting 3 people, that's cool. What I hate is when it's one-on-one and then they'll wait for the fight to go on a little bit and it looks like the other guy's losing, and then they'll all jump in and it's just like, oh my. And then they'll teabag you after. It's like,
like there's no
insult,
no honor, no respect, like just nothing.
Nothing. Like you didn't even do anything. You only do is because what happens is fighting multiple people in that game is a little difficult, especially when they're spread out. Because when you're focused on one person, you don't know what this other person over here is doing. You don't know what this other person that's here is doing. So a lot of times you got to listen and to know what certain casts and things sound like in order to know what you need to do. So
yeah, I feel like there's also too much magic in the PvP right now. Like
that's always been unfortunate. Here's the thing: magic is easy to overcome when it's one-on-one. When it's multiple people, it's a lot harder. When you got like 3 people casting multiple spells at you, you only have so much stamina. So it's like you're dodging like 3 people worth of spells. Like that gets a little ridiculous. Like, but even then, if I know it's 3 people from the beginning, I'm okay with that. What I don't like is the midway change through, or it'll be you fighting 1 person, 2 people, and then the 3rd person's hiding, waiting to pop out. It's like, what is the point of that? You already have the numbers advantage. Why are you also trying to camouflage in with the scenery to pop out at some point? Like, what are we getting from this?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I don't understand it either.
But it is a good way to get souls. I think just like 4 fights, I got like 800,000 souls just from like 4 fights. Like, so souls are very plentiful in the PvP way. So I hope that Coliseum comes out and it's pretty good where you can kind of do one-on-one duels. I do wish there was a way where same way we put in the password for co-op, that you could do that for invasions, like people in your friends list or people in that group.
Yeah, there's no way at all to do that, right? Like
No.
you can't invade someone you know, like
No.
as a goof
No,
or whatever.
that would be pretty cool. Like, everybody who had the same password could invade each other.
Yeah, or a community of
Yeah.
people who
Yeah, that would be
have
cool.
a certain rule set for invasions, and then
I think that would be pretty cool. Because it's just weird that they just included co-op and left PvP separate from the whole password scenario. So that's all I've been playing. As far as watching, Moon Knight, like Marty, last episode to me was like probably the most emotional, impactful Marvel movie or show, whatever you want to pick, since Endgame. To me, that's how impactful that last episode was, like as far as an emotional level. And it's been touching on like small parts of this, but this actually finally executed it and answered a lot of questions about how the split personalities came to be, like how he formed those. Because I'm not going to go into it, but like experts say that most DID situations come about through severe trauma, where in order to deal with this situation, they create these separate personalities to help cope with situations. I think I watched a documentary on Netflix maybe months ago where a guy he killed somebody, but it wasn't him. It was one of his personalities, and this lady was interviewing him, a psychiatrist, and he had about 12 different personalities.
that's
And
nuts.
Wow.
yeah, it was definitely like a whole Split thing. I don't know if the person who did Split knew about this, because this was an old case from like the 60s or 70s, I believe. And they interviewed
Who, M. Night Shyamalan?
No, no.
You said the person who did Split. That was M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, that M. Night Shyamalan did Split.
I don't know.
You talk about the movie, right?
I don't know if M. Night Shyamalan knew about this case that happened.
He must have.
Pulled some of his stuff.
Yeah,
from
he watched that documentary right after he watched Avatar. He's like, yeah, I got it. I can make this.
Because the case is so old, so I don't know if he did some research into it, but it was definitely very reminiscent of Split, because there was one personality that all the other ones were scared of that would be the most violent one. So, but this episode of Moon Knight definitely touched on a lot of. It was very good. I thought it was very well executed. It finally dwelled deeper into the Egyptian mythos as well, in the Marvel universe. So that was pretty cool. Aside from Moon Knight, I started a new anime called a Skeleton Knight in Another World. It's another.
Oh my God, Jeff.
Yes.
Hold on. What in the hell? We made a joke the other day on Breakout where Marty was making fun of the name of anime and basically said, "Do you mind if I fuck this skeleton?"
Yeah.
as the title of an anime. Thanks to that title, me and some other folks in the Discord searched out whether or not there was an anime called, or at least close to, "Do you mind if I fuck this skeleton?" Skeleton Knight in Another World came up, Jeff, and the reason is awful.
Why?
There is a terrible, terrible graphic rape scene in that show.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait. There's only 3 episodes out.
I think it was like the first episode.
No. Okay, so first episode, they must have changed it from the manga or something. Because,
I think Crunchyroll pulled it.
Yes, they changed it because it starts out where something's happening, and I think all they show is like the bandit ripping off the lady's clothes.
Yeah, they must have edited it because of the
flesh,
outcry.
You don't see any flesh. You don't see anything happen, and then the knight gets involved and kind of cuts the guy in half.
Yeah, okay, so they cut past the graphic part then.
Because it never happened. Like in this, nothing ever happened to her. The closest he got was ripping her clothes off.
I mean, still not great.
No, but like, it's like
Oh, negative.
there's
Negative.
plenty of anime where like, the anime girl gets her, her shirt ripped or something like that. But like they didn't show any like any skin or anything like that. It was kind of like she was covered up and then they cut away, stuff like that. But it was definitely like kind of
implied.
It's kind of like Shield Hero does like some stuff like that with like the sleeves and stuff, where they have different scenes like that. But this was like, I didn't know that they actually had that before. That's crazy. Because like this anime is very like lighthearted, but like
I think that was part of the problem, is that it wasn't taken anywhere near as serious as what was being depicted. Like his reaction to what was happening, like he was like kind of, because I was reading about people who were like outcrying about it. Like his reaction was like, "Oh, should I step in to help?
Exactly.
Like, will they know my secret or whatever?"
Yes.
Versus, do you see what's happening to this person? And you're asking yourself why? Should you step in? Like, is it beneficial to you to step in? Like, it was just very tonally shocking.
Mm-hmm. I do not stepping in. I don't understand, but I do understand. He was the last thing he remembers was playing a video game. You know, so he in his mind, it hasn't translated yet at where he is. You do see the change as the show goes on, but I'm glad they cut that part out because it definitely would have ruined it for me. Because I do feel like it's very lighthearted with a dark undertone, but then the light, it keeps bouncing back and forth. You get what I'm saying? Like it'll touch on something, but not go completely into it, and then go back up. Like it deals with like racism, with the how other people perceive the elves and stuff like that, and they're kidnapping them into like servitude and stuff like that, and selling them. Kind of like some of the stuff that goes into jobless reincarnation. I don't know if you ever seen that.
No, I've not checked that out yet. No.
Yeah, so that's coming to some of the stuff that's some of the same exact stuff that it touches on. You know, stuff with. That happens. Kira, what did the people think about Goblin Slayer? Because that definitely.
Oh yeah, people were mad about that too. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember that. I haven't seen Goblin Slayer. I've heard the controversy.
That's the reason why I never watched it, because it had that one that was a scene that it advertised the most, and I was just like, that looks like an episode of like SVU. I'm not watching that. Like, let's just skip it. I hate
Goblin Slayer SVU.
Yeah, it's just like I hate when anime go that far into it, especially when it doesn't add much to the story. Like,
yeah, it's like shock value.
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything. One Piece, latest episode.
One Piece has a rape scene. What do you?
No, Luffy.
I don't know. The way you transitioned was like
I was curious if this was gonna go somewhere. I was like, uh oh.
Listen, once you get to like 1,200 episodes, you're like, we don't know what else to do.
Okay, glad to know One Piece still good.
Rufy.
I didn't say Rufy. I said Luffy. Isn't his name Luffy?
What you call him, Rufy?
I didn't call him Rufy. I mean, in hindsight, that could have been a good joke. I didn't. Now I'm upset I didn't make it.
No, I watched the latest episode. Moving on from that negative thing, so watched the latest episode. It was actually people were on the internet. I thought it was really, really well animated, and the story was told very well. That's why when I watch an anime that I read the manga on, this is what I want, to where it's telling the same stuff, but it's so much more in depth and giving like visually, it's going in a different direction. Because in the manga, you go from panel to panel, and that's kind of all you get. You get these stills, but with the episode, it was just the colors. And I said this about Wano before. Wano is probably the most beautiful arc I think I've ever seen in One Piece. It like just the colors, the scenery, all of it is just so well animated. But everybody was on the internet saying this was the best One Piece episode they've ever seen.
I don't know. One Piece fans can be kind of hyperbolic though.
People who aren't even like super fans, but like they're just like, this is the best episode they've ever seen. I thought it was really, really good. And then like I said,
so. I do know there was like a big reveal that happened in the manga recently. Is this episode
it's
that,
not close.
or is this different?
Because remember, it's behind.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm like,
it's not that.
So what happened in this episode that people are so hype about that people in the manga world weren't hype about at the time? Like that's what is like throwing me a bit.
It's not a spoiler, so I'll tell it because it goes to Yamato, which is a character in the story. Not going to go into her story. Where Ace tells her about his brother Luffy and how one day he was saying, he wanted to be king of the pirates, but he said, after I become the king of the pirates, and then you'll just see his mouth moving and no words come out. You won't hear it. And then she was also reading a journal which cataloged Roger's journey to becoming King of the Pirates, and he was telling someone, he's going to be King of the Pirates, and after he does, it worded some stuff but didn't say it. The way that they overlapped it to where you had like a young Luffy and like a Goldie Roger, like almost like intertwined, and we're both saying that, and then they finally said what they kind of mouthed it. You could kind of read the lips, but not really. The way that they animated that was just very well done. And if you look at the manga, he's like, how did they come up with this? Like, because that's not what happened in the manga. Like, that was completely added for just the anime. And
so this was this is basically an instance where the anime improved on the depiction in the manga. Like, the anime did it better, because folks will swear up and down the manga is always better, right?
Oh, definitely did it better.
But so the animation actually helped this time.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's encouraging. Maybe I'll pick up One Piece again to get to that part and then go ahead and shut it back off.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, nice. So well done, everyone. Fun stuff in what we've been playing. We'll move on to our first rumor here about the Mandalorian MMO possibly coming from Xbox. My first question is, why is this an Xbox project and not just a kind of a thrown out to the world project? And would that possibly help in terms of like an MMO? Because, a massively multiplayer online game needs, a big player base to function, right?
I don't think it's going to be
the first thing
Xbox
that strikes me as weird.
Because it's just...
So you think an Xbox studio would make it, but it wouldn't be Xbox
It's going to ZeniMax, which does Elder Scrolls Online.
So but that's owned by...
Right. But
Bethesda and Xbox.
I don't think it's going to be an exclusive, like you said, because then that kind of closes it off. Even Elder Scrolls Online, like there's no exclusive content just made for the Xbox.
But that existed before this deal, though.
Right. But the DLC that have been, I don't see them making an exclusive. Because they've kind of said that before. They're not exclusive. They're inclusive to where, especially with an MMO, like the more people you have playing it, the better it is for that MMO. So I don't see them just confining it to Xbox Game Pass, which that would help get a lot of people into it. But I don't see it being just exclusively for Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because we don't know we haven't seen the results of the ZeniMax Bethesda acquisition, certainly not the Activision, if it goes through acquisition. But it does make sense if you want something with a large multiplayer base to not keep it exclusive. But if something's single player, like I think there's zero chance in hell Elder Scrolls 6 comes to PlayStation. Like I think it will absolutely be a PC and Xbox exclusive. But I understand wanting to capitalize on the Mandalorian popularity, but by the time this thing comes out, it would be years after, like, the Mandalorian might be done as a show, and so it feels like you're chasing a fad so many years later. Like, and isn't there already a Star Wars MMO? Are you gonna have 2 Star Wars MMOs?
Yes,
the Old Republic.
There is.
Yeah. I don't know. Seems strange. Also, like the rumor, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if I believe this, because I've also heard things about a Mando game that wasn't an MMO, that was a single player action game.
Yeah, that was for the PS2 and GameCube.
The Bounty Hunter, the Boba Fett game.
That's already happened.
The Jango Fett game. Yeah. George Lucas brings it up right away. Yeah, but I don't know what, like, I don't even know what an MMO means. Like, is Destiny an MMO?
I wouldn't call it an MMO.
Yeah.
MMO light.
Why? Oh boy, I don't want to get into definitions on why that wouldn't be called an MMO.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, it's the word massive being in there. Massively multiplayer online.
Right. There's only a certain amount of people you can have in the.
Yeah, you can have a party of max 6.
Yeah.
Right? If you're doing custom games,
But
8?
But
12?
Was it Phantasy Star Online for the Dreamcast still an MMO? It was a console-based.
I honestly don't think it was. Like it was more of like an instanced online thing, and I don't know if they ever called it an MMO.
No, not until
I'm Wikipedia this right now.
Not until the last 2.
But even the last 2 aren't.
No, Universe.
You know what? In the lobbies, you can see like a bunch of people, but yeah, like the actual gameplay is still. So maybe they did call it MMO for that reason. But like in Destiny, there's nowhere that has like a massive number of people all in the same space. Like nowhere. Like the max is what, like 20 something people in the tower.
And if you go on a planet, there's about 20 something people. It's like it has MMO elements, but that's about it. But it's not like World of Warcraft or Guild Wars 2 or Blessed or anything like that, to the point where
Blessed.
Isn't that what it's called? Blessed?
What is that? You mentioned two very popular games, and then you said Blessed. What is that?
Blessed?
Blessed or Blessed?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Ash, not Ash.
Fast Stack.
Fast Stacks. Yeah, one of our recurring guests on the show, friend of the show. Fast Stacks. He plays it a lot, actually.
Literally never heard of it.
It's a free MMO.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I've seen him play it a lot. I'm like, oh, what is this?
It looks really good.
It does.
But also, it looks like an MMO, which for me just does nothing to draw my interest.
Yeah.
If it comes out, because we're getting Mandalorian season 3, I heard there's rumors that it might come out this summer.
No, definitely not.
Like late summer?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Because they have Obi-Wan and then they have Andor.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Mandalorian will come out this year.
Did they give a date for Andor?
No, but it's like production-wise, it's the one that it's wrapped up production, so everyone assumes it'll be sometime after Obi-Wan, so probably late summer, early fall, I would imagine.
And then there was another one coming out.
They have Ahsoka. They have the Acolyte.
The Acolyte. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a clear roadmap at Star Wars Celebration at the end of the month.
Ah, yes, because that's the same day that Obi-Wan launches. So
yeah, that's right.
Like Marty said, I don't see this coming out for like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm. It's an MMO, yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna, unless it's done. I doubt they've been working on it and it's just now getting a mention on it. But it's gonna be super. If it came out now, I feel like it would do really good, even for people who aren't really, Star Wars fans, people who watch the shows now. But I think if it waits a couple years, if it's really good, it'll definitely pick up steam. But if it starts out so, you're only gonna get those diehard fans. But to any credit to ZeniMax, I thought Elder Scrolls Online was really good. And I feel like the way the combat and stuff work, I feel like would work better in the Mandalorian style MMO as opposed to Elder Scrolls, which is weird. The way the abilities worked, the way the combat worked, I think it would actually work better than the way Elder Scrolls works. Obviously in Elder Scrolls Online. So I'm interested to see how that would turn out. I've been looking for a good MMO, so that would be something. Where
have you been looking?
I've been looking places, people.
Let me hear some examples. What are some MMOs that you tried and?
Well, I played Elder Scrolls Online, obviously. I made it pretty far. I think I put a significant amount of time in. I think it was like Veteran 6 or something. I beat 2 of the different Alliance storylines, or actually all 3, and then was working on a couple of the DLCs, Dark Brotherhood, the Summer Owls. There was another one after that as well. The Morrowind one. I did a bunch of them. The problem is I took a break from it, and then going back after they changed a bunch of stuff, a lot of times is a turnoff because now you have to get used to all these different changes. They redid the way the levels work. Like it was just a whole bunch of stuff. So I haven't gotten back into it. And also used to play Final Fantasy 14. Same thing. I played that in the beginning, made it to like level 50. Took a break because nobody I knew was playing it. And then I tried to get back into it, but now I'm so far behind. I'm just like
when you mean in the beginning, did you play it when it was bad, like before Realm Reborn? Oh, okay.
Yes, I played it when it first came out.
Yeah.
On PS3 and played up to like
level 50. It's been around for a long time.
It has. So nope, not PS3. I'm sorry, PS4.
PS4. Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Because I think Final Fantasy 11 or 12.
Yeah,
11
was on PS2. Was the one on PS3. Yeah.
So it was PS4. Played up till 50 and then took a break from that. But I wouldn't be mad at a Mandalorian game. But like I said, 4 or 5 years from now is a while. So I'm surprised that it even. Well, no, it was kind of wasn't it a leak or just a rumor?
A rumor.
Yeah, this is just a rumor.
Yeah, because the rumor also had like Elder Scrolls 6 coming in like 2025 or 26 or something, and then a Quake reboot, which like makes sense because they've done it with Doom
Yeah, like
and
that doesn't seem
Wolfenstein. So
far-fetched.
I can imagine id doing a Quake game pretty easily.
Just make a
But,
quick game.
Excuse me.
A lot of folks in chat are talking about the thing that is kind of itching at me is that with the Mandalorian as an IP, as a character or whatever, why MMO versus like a single player kind of action adventure thing? Like it seems like a mismatch.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who are still very excited at the prospect of this, and I'm just curious. Like Marty, you're a huge fan. Jeff is a big fan. I don't know about Jesse how much you care about like Star Wars or Mandalorian in general, but I'm just wondering like why does the prospect of an MMO version of this excite you versus any other possibility?
It doesn't. I don't like playing games with other people. The only time of the week I play games with other people is game night. And I'm usually bad at them and I don't like the games.
You play with other people. They expect you to be good. They expect you to know what controls are.
Yeah. They expect me to have my full attention as opposed to having half my attention, the other half on some anime bullshit in the background that I'm not actually absorbing.
Right. Of course.
I don't know. I think it should just be like the Coalition should make a single player. Like the folks who make Gears should just make a single player Mandalorian game. I don't need MMO. I don't have enough friends to be an MMO. That's not anything I want.
I don't mind one. I think, like I said, I like MMOs. It's just finding one that's good that I can stick with. I mean, New World, I was going to give it a try, but when I played the beta, it wasn't where it was at. So I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So left the New World where it was at. I think they have a couple.
We're back to the old world. Huh?
Yeah, just like that's it. They have a couple of single player games in the works. So I feel like they're trying to reach out to different genres. Like there was a rumor of an RTS coming out. There's the obviously
that's been confirmed. Respawn. Respawn's working
Oh.
on a tactics game, a first-person shooter, and Fallen Order 2.
Ooh. And then the what was the lady's name at EA who had the canceled Star Wars game that was going to be
Amy Hennig?
Yes. Supposedly she's behind another Star Wars game that's supposed to be coming out.
A Star Wars and a Marvel game her studio's working on.
Oh wow.
Unannounced. Yeah. Both games have been announced, but they haven't said like what the Marvel one's rumored to be a Fantastic Four game. That's what I heard.
What's Amy Hennig's studio?
Skydance.
Oh, okay.
It's like part of Skydance Media, but it's like their gaming arm. They haven't released a game yet, but they've announced that they're
just
doing
said, hey, we're gonna do this.
A Marvel game, and then just like a week ago they announced the Star Wars game.
And then the Star Wars Eclipse, that narrative-driven action game that's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, the David Cage Quantum Dream joint.
So they seem to be trying to put their hands in a lot of different pots. And I think the MMO is kind of like the closest way to like, almost like not free to play, but also you get those microtransactions and stuff for all that money. So it seems like they might be trying to get their hands into that. I'm hoping it's not another Battlefront 2 situation to where, loot boxes and such. So
like I honestly feel that's kind of where this is going, because I fail to see why any creative who gets their hands on the Mandalorian license would pick MMO. Like I feel like that sounds more like a corporate thing. It's like, this has good SEO. The Mandalorian is popping right now, and what makes a lot of money in the gaming space right now? MMOs. But because they're looking at the 2 or 3 most popular MMOs on the market right now. Meanwhile, all these other ones are out there kind of languishing or dying entirely.
Yeah, like what about that Amazon? What was it? New World? Like the Amazon one? Like what happened to that? That had infinite money behind it.
Right. That Korean one, which just came over in the West, that was already successful. So that doesn't really count. What was it called? Lost Ark. Yeah. That game is super boring. By the way, I'll just add as a little aside, that game is mad boring. Don't know what the draw is, but people like that shit.
Yeah.
Also, if this game releases in a post Dokkaevi world, what's the point? Because I'm sure there's a Mandalorian game somewhere in Dokkaevi.
I cannot wait till Dokkaevi comes and shakes this industry up.
Fuck it, yeah. It's gonna be the change we want to see in the world. Yeah.
Because I heard in order for them to make that game, they had to. Apparently, China has a limit on how many games that their country can produce. So this studio had to leave and go to Singapore in order to make the game.
I don't know why that's really funny to me.
That was just like,
we're gonna limit the number of children you can have and limit the number of games you can.
Yeah, like China feels very strongly about games going out of control. Like that's the sense I get. Like they feel like, look, if we don't control this, it will take over our country and it'll corrupt all of our children. Like we have to monitor it as closely as possible.
Genshin Impact.
So, like that's
the
the mindset that they're going into.
The devs behind Genshin Impact had to do the same thing. In order to make the game, they had to leave, go to another country to make it.
Yeah, but Genshin Impact, not an MMO.
No,
That's why it's good.
Is it not an MMO? I thought it was an MMO.
It's not an MMO.
Okay.
It's not.
It's work.
It's a gacha game.
It's gacha.
And it
gacha money.
has co-op in it, but it's definitely not an MMO. But yeah. So the last thing I guess I'll ask about the Mandalorian thing is oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing.
Will Gina Carano be in it?
Her and Ben Shapiro are going to make their own MMO.
So my last question is, if this does turn out to be, at least part of this rumor is false, and like maybe it's not an MMO, like what is the Mandalorian game you would want to see? Like, or is the MMO what you want to see? Like if you have the idea, like, oh, they're gonna make something from this property, like what would you want to see? Like what would work for you?
I don't think it's what I want to see, but looking at like what Bethesda Online does and what they don't do yet, it's like, ooh, they could make a Mandalorian asymmetrical game.
You talking day by day?
Yeah, so one person's a Mandalorian, 4 bounties, 5 bounties, 8 bounties, whatever.
Wasn't that crap? What's the name of the game where you hunted the big monster?
Evolve.
Yeah.
Evolve.
Yeah,
Isn't that just
like
Evolve?
Rancors and Wampas and stuff.
That's almost that Fable game that almost came out, where you had the mastermind versus the four
Yeah,
players.
like almost like a DM.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm just saying that you were talking about SEO. That's a very popular.
You're
hey,
right.
all
Yeah,
this
you're
thing's
right.
coming out. Let's slap this license on it.
Yep.
It's also a game that is much smaller. It has all the microtransactions and all the stuff that they could pump into MMOs, but it's a much smaller scale, and they can release something in a more broken state and fix it, and hopefully not get as bad a backlash because the total is so much smaller than an MMO, but still has all that online element.
Mm-hmm. Like that Dragon Ball Z game that Casey's excited for.
Of course, you bring that.
Yeah,
up.
of course, the Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be exactly in the same vein as that Dragon Ball Z game.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
It's like I'm worried that that's such a good idea, like business wise, that Jesse came up with it. Like I feel like you're being corrupted by this industry, Jesse.
Yeah. He's no longer eating the rich. He's feeding them.
I'm just reading the room, man.
He's no longer eating the rich. He's feeding them.
But no, yeah, that everything you said makes a lot of sense. That would absolutely work in this current climate with that Star Wars license. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody else got ideas for a better Mandalorian game?
Yes,
Like,
please give me a better one.
I mean, like I think they like low hanging fruit is like something Uncharted-y, just like a adventure game. Each thing's set on a different planet. Like you don't have to do open world, but you can have sort of linear cinematic action adventure game, kind of like the game that got canceled, like 1313. That was kind of going to be a bounty hunter Boba Fett game.
That's pretty much what that was. Yeah. It was Uncharted, but with Star Wars.
Yeah,
They can do something similar to like Warcraft, where you have like the heroes and your different battalions and stuff like that, and your different factories. Something similar to that. I wouldn't mind something like that.
Honestly, I would weirdly want something that's more akin to like maybe the early Arkham games, like because like but the bounty hunters in Star Wars universe usually are like super gadget focused, right?
that'd be cool.
Like, yeah, put them in like maybe lock them to a planet or like they're trapped in like a gangster den or something, and like they're fighting their way out, like they're adapting equipment and whatnot. So like it's mostly like combat is like environmental puzzle solutions and like just it's gameplay. That's what I would want from Star Wars.
And I could see I could picture the like Metroidvania arc of abilities that allow you to that are both combat, traversal, and puzzle abilities. Yeah,
like
honestly, that would be cool.
Yeah,
like versus the Jedi in Fallen Order being in a Metroidvania type world. Yeah, a freaking bounty hunter makes more sense to me.
Yeah, because
like I'd rather have
attached to your arm or like something on your jetpack. Yeah,
they're like Outriders, is what you're saying.
I'm nothing like Outriders. What are you saying right now?
My favorite MMO.
Like Outriders is nothing like what I'm describing.
Problem is they would make that game and then set it on Tatooine. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, everything has to go in Tatooine.
Yeah. Although
So,
it would
yeah,
be
that's-
it'd be funny to make a game where you have, you know how like in Mario Galaxy you could have, or like even the new Kirby game has the 2-player mode where the second player can like kind of help out but not really, and that'd be funny if there was like a Baby Yoda version of that.
Wow.
Where, like someone could use the Wiimote to like point at the screen and like use the Force to like pick up frogs and eat them and shit.
That would be adorable.
Yeah.
People would love that feature.
I don't know why this game is gonna have the Wiimote. That seems strange. This game's coming
Released it on the Wii.
exclusively to
They're gonna
2006's hottest
bring
console.
the Connect back.
Ooh, I want that.
Okay. Any other ideas on this, or Jeff? You're like MMO or bust.
I want an MMO, but here's the thing: like to me, the best part about the Clone Wars to me were the clone troopers. So, and the best part about Mandalorian is the same thing: the look, the aesthetic, the lore behind them. To me, it would have to be something. If it's an action game, I wouldn't mind it if it took place like thousands of years before current events. Like, I want to go back and cover that part of actual Mandalore, you know, when he tamed the first mytho beast and all that stuff. Like, you don't have to be him, but to be around that time and be involved in the events. I feel like the Skywalker saga and times closest to them, to me, I feel like they've been dried out. I want to do something so far back where it leaves so much room open, especially with a lot of stuff not being canon anymore. It just gives so much artistic freedom to do a bunch of different things.
Okay. So rather than a game where you feel like the Mandalorian, you want a game that explores the story of the Mandalorians, like their history and their. Okay, so you know what? Yeah. Now, it makes more sense though why you'd be more excited for an MMO, because I feel like that's a bigger driving force is like the world, the lore, and the story that's told in an MMO versus like, because for me, I'm like, all right, well, this character does these sorts of things in their world. How would you translate what that character does into a game? To me, an MMO doesn't fit that. Like, I'd want more control, more action to happen, right? But if you're focused on like, oh, I want to know more about the character, then sure, I can get by like an RPG or an MMO would appeal to you. So that's interesting. But I still think an MMO would be a bad game for that franchise.
Like a Mass Effect type of game. That would be pretty cool. Well, I guess that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, also not an MMO, though.
Similar. I know, I mean, like an alternative to an MMO. But I think that's kind of what Eclipse is going to be. It's going to be like decision-based and stuff like that. So I don't know.
We're also getting that Knights of the Old Republic remake as well.
Oh, so. Yeah. It's true. Isn't that a PlayStation exclusive?
It is, yeah.
Is it? I didn't know that.
I believe so, yeah.
I think that's why I was less excited about it.
That sucks.
Well, they gotta get something with Microsoft buying all the other studios.
Yeah. Well, maybe PlayStation can acquire their own studio soon.
There you go.
Right, Casey?
Yeah, we're moving on with that to our next really big rumor with very tiny bits of information. Imran Khan, who is, a press guy, used to be editor-in-chief of Game Informer, apparently has talked to some insiders and is getting the idea that possibly WB Discovery could be shopping their game development studios around. So like they're looking for companies underneath the WB banner that make games to be sold off to companies who are looking to buy. And with Microsoft's big acquisition, everybody's looking to buy. PlayStation is doing acquisitions. EA's looking at acquisitions. Ubisoft is possibly looking at being acquired. That was a rumor that came out earlier in the week. But again, no concrete stuff to really go into. But I'm curious. This has the stipulation as well of companies like Rocksteady, who has been making all the Batman games and is now making the DC stuff. If they get sold off, the license doesn't go with them. Like that stuff stays with WB. WB would then just license off their stuff to other game companies to make money rather than to pay for having their own studio. So who do you think stands to benefit from possibly snapping up these WB studios? Like Rocksteady would be one. NetherRealm is one, the Mortal Kombat guys. And that's a tricky one because they carry Mortal Kombat with them from Midway.
Yeah.
Do they still own it? Like, if they go, does Mortal Kombat go with them or do they stay with WB?
I think it's like IO and the Hitman IP. When they left Square Enix, they got to take the IP with them.
Okay, so it's a much more interesting question.
I imagine Injustice is owned by...
Yeah, Injustice would basically stay with. But then who else would you want to do that other than NetherRealm? So they probably still have that relationship.
Would that
was
stay
the
with
reason
them?
why it was so successful. Yeah, because of the DC IP. They own the characters, not the actual. Maybe not it's pretty much
like the license definitely wouldn't stay with them. I can't imagine NetherRealm would do that, but I'm sure the relationship would probably stay. Like they'd be like, oh, do you want to make another Injustice because those sell well? They'd be like, sure, have the license again.
Yeah. So who else can do it? It's so Mortal Kombat that it's like, who else are you gonna find to do an Injustice game? Like,
it would be a different thing at that point.
Well, and plus, like that's one of the isn't NetherRealm like one of the few big Western fighting studios? Because I mean, Street Fighter's Japan, Arc System is Japan. Like,
yeah, I don't think.
I mean, you guys
who makes Killer Instinct now? Double Helix.
Double Helix, yeah. I think they're
European. I think.
Yeah,
they're European. Oh, that counts as the West, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that counts as the West.
And did we still
the Iron Curtain? Anything west of the Iron Curtain.
We got a couple games still coming out for like Rocksteady. You got Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Yeah.
Is that
and then WB Montreal is doing yeah. So I mean, I think the 6 big studios this would refer to would be WB Montreal, who's working on Gotham Knights, Rocksteady, who we mentioned, who did the Arkham games and Suicide Squad, TT Games, Traveler Tales, who just released the Lego.
Right. Yeah, I forgot that they're
Lego
on
Star
WB.
Wars. Yeah. Monolith, who did the Shadow of War and Mordor games and is now doing Wonder Woman. Avalanche, who's about to do the Harry Potter thing, and NetherRealm. So I think those are their like 6 big core studios.
Right. And all of them basically do work with IPs. Like none of them, other than NetherRealm, kind of have their own thing going.
Yeah. None of them dabble in like creating their own worlds or anything. Although they could, like obviously, but
yeah, like especially if they get sold.
Yeah.
So the question is, who could benefit the most from a bunch of Legend Studios who have a proven track record of creating stuff, but maybe can now be freed from, having to do a licensed tie-in? Like, what could Traveler's Tales do outside of the Lego franchise?
Yeah.
Or do they just get access to like maybe more quirky IPs now?
And the thing is, a lot of these, game studios have very like specific set of skills. Like I couldn't see another studio doing a Lego game. You get what I'm saying? Or another game doing like an Injustice or Mortal Kombat type of game. They're very, very specific in these games. So like when they leave, are they still going to contract these? Because most of the Lego games were no. Star Wars wasn't DC. Those were Warner Brothers IPs. Harry.
Yeah, but they've done they did, but they've also done Marvel and Lord of the Rings.
So so they could still legitimately just get things outsourced to them. That's true.
Yeah, I think it would mostly be just in terms of like Warner Media Discovery. They're such a big company that these gaming things are like they almost don't want to have to deal with it. Right. Like the like idea of HBO Max is so much bigger than any of these studios. Like it's in
they want to make room on their plate to handle all the streaming stuff.
That
they're doing now.
Much
and
easier.
It'll be interesting to see who would bite at this because the one that immediately comes to mind is Microsoft because they're the ones making the really massive moves. And Sony, despite the fact that Sony is acquiring studios, they're not acquiring studios of this size. They're either incubating studios or acquiring studios that they've had a long time relationship with, like Bluepoint or the Housemark, the Returnal guys.
Yeah, like I feel like the thing that makes the most sense and would probably be the best for these studios to go to, as bad as it might sound, is EA. Like EA is in a rut where they kind of only have their sports stuff holding them up, and anything else they do outside of what Respawn is in control of is pretty much a giant train wreck.
Yeah.
So they've just recently made Vince Zampella kind of a higher level executive, so now he has more control over underling EA Studios.
Yeah.
If they then acquire these new guys who have talent and skill, Vince Zampella could direct them like to do this, that, and the third, and then you might actually get a resurgence of some quality EA titles, because EA used to be really good at making very interesting kind of new IP.
Yeah, and plus EA would, you wouldn't have the problem of a first party acquiring them and then making it exclusive.
Right.
Like if EA were to acquire Monolith or Avalanche or something, then they would have what is most likely a multi-platform, big action adventure game.
And I know we talked about this. I think me and Casey, or was this talked about the CEO of Warner Brothers now, who came over from Discover, is pretty much trying to mimic the whole Marvel plan. You know, putting a central figure in charge of the direction of everything, trying to tell a more cohesive, connected story with the movies. And it stands that he would copy that as well. Marvel or Disney doesn't have their own game studio where they're working on this. They're outsourcing other stuff so they can send that revenue somewhere else as opposed to splitting it down there. I'm not sure how much more money you make when you own the studio and pay all the expenses and you still reap the benefits. I'm not sure how much of that changes when you outsource it to another company, how much of that revenue comes back to you, or maybe they just pay for the IP and you get that amount no matter how the game sells. So there might be something else that they're pretty much looking at.
I think generally how it goes from what I've looked at, and I could be very wrong, is that the studio that's making it probably won't a lot of times see royalties from their licensed stuff. Mm-hmm. And that a lot of their money and stuff is up front, and then all that all the profits get to fall on the licensee, the person who owns the stuff.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they get paid to make it, but then since the other entity owns it, they get the residuals in perpetuity.
Okay. Well, I guess it's different like the Telltale thing. When they would pay for the license in order to make the game, it wasn't they weren't shopped to make the game. They went out and asked for these IPs and paid for the use of them. Okay.
And some of the other places that Imran mentioned, aside from like the first parties, were Take-Two, who obviously has prints money from NBA and GTA.
Right,
and then,
they're in a similar boat to EA in that they have very big successful things, but they don't have a lot of things.
Yeah,
so they need to diversify.
And they got a movie coming out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, with the Borderlands. Yeah,
with The Rock.
Shoot!
It Takes Two movie.
Oh, It Takes Two. That's not Take-Two.
Yeah, you just threw that in there.
I completely forgot The Rock. I also forgot that The Rock. I thought you were talking about Borderlands. That's why I was like, yeah, I guess they are. Kevin Hart.
So they finally showed the silhouette for that, though. They finally showed the silhouette.
Finally. And then I think he also mentioned Tencent, which again has infinite money.
Yeah, they buy everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I have a very weird thing about Tencent because people are kind of scared, like, oh, it's big China corpse or whatever. Tencent has done almost nothing wrong in terms of their video game investments. They've given video game companies in the West even money to do whatever they want to do, and in most cases, those companies succeed, and they do well, and Tencent just is hands off and they collect their money as a result.
Yeah.
And it's isn't that one of the best versions of a big company investing in game development?
Right.
They haven't made a misstep yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a very big company, so I get why it's scary to just have them involved all the time.
No, and they're
so much.
And they either have a majority share or a large share in a ton of folks, like everyone from Epic to Roblox to I think they own a small fraction of Ubisoft. It's crazy.
Yeah, they own some Ubisoft. They own both PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah, which is wild. They have I think they have part of Kodakawa, which is the From Software's parent company. So yeah, they have all sorts of shit.
They're everywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
What if
they own?
You don't even know it.
Odds are they own part of one of the four of us. We don't even realize it.
We didn't even realize it.
Smart.
Yeah. They got 5% of Jesse. Yeah.
Oh, which 5%? This could be bad.
The 5% that came up with that Dead by Daylight.
Oh no! Oh, they got me.
Yeah, they incepted you. Yeah.
That's funny.
What if these companies form a super company? What if they all just merge together and form their own game?
No one would allow that, right?
Why not? Why not? You know?
Wait.
Oh, you mean these studios?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, all the studios get together and say, "Oh, we'll just be a publisher now."
4 quarters still equal.
I don't think they have. I don't think they're allowed because they're owned by what's the name. They can't just "Hey, we'll buy us."
What if they pool their money together and then buy themselves?
I mean, I think that's what IO did. IO bought themselves out of Square Enix and became independent.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
but Square Enix probably wasn't asking for that much.
Square Enix is
last, I guess, predictions on this story. If this does come to pass, if they do end up getting sold to someone, how much do you think this collection of companies could sell for? Like, you have Activision Blizzard, giant 70 billion as kind of like the high water mark right now, and then Sony bought Destiny for what, 14?
Yeah,
about 14. That sounds right in my brain, but I don't remember the actual number. So let's say 14 billion for Bungie.
I don't think any of them are going to sell for that much, because those are companies and studios that have current hit money-making games.
I mean, Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga just released. That is a hit. That game is selling very well.
So that's 3.6 billion for Bungie.
3.6 billion. Okay, I was way out there for Bungie.
So
but Bungie's one studio. Like, this is kind of a collection of studios, which is why I'm on the base level, I'm sort of valuing them as more. But you might be right. Like, Destiny might be worth more than all the stuff they've done combined.
Yeah, because they're dealing with stuff, and they have stuff in the works, but you're going to have to keep funding them to get that out. So that's part of it. Also, I don't know what the dealings with like all the licenses. Maybe that'll change, and they have to pay more money to keep working on those games. So now you're investing even more. What I'm going to say this because I hope it's what happens, that they won't get sold off as a bundle. That other people will buy individual studios. And
I think that's more likely.
Yeah, and that Warner might make more because of that, because, you know, Sony will only pay X number of billion, and they don't want to sell all of them for that, but they'll pay that much for, you know, one studio, two studios, something like that.
What if it's like a bundle, right? They're like, oh, there's a discount, like you get like 50% off.
BOGO, buy one, get one? Yeah. Well, I think what Microsoft acquired ZeniMax for $7.5 billion, I believe. And this bundle of studios feels ZeniMaxy to me. Like, this feels those whatever 5 or 6 studios we brought up feel comparable to Bethesda Game Studios, id, Tango, ZeniMax Online, like ish, ballparky.
I mean, like, sort of. I feel like
nothing's as big as Skyrim, but
no,
right? Yeah, like,
but Mortal Kombat's really big. And
Mortal Kombat and Rocksteady, Arkham series together, I feel like can be considered maybe as big as just Bethesda Skyrim.
Yeah, if they're good, I have a feeling like Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad are going to sell a shit ton.
Yeah, I think if Justice League, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League looks really good. If it plays really good, which is why I'm hoping they took the extra time, that's going to be that's going to be a banger.
And like all the J.K. Rowling stuff removed, like I think the Hogwarts game looks neat.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks nice. Yeah. I'm still not convinced that that's a fun game to play.
Yeah, you're anti-wizard though. You don't like wizards.
Yeah, he doesn't.
There's only one wizard you like, and it's the Weed Wizard.
The Weed Wizard. All right. On that note,
which is so funny because ironically, his name in No Mercy, the wrestling game, was Black Magic.
It's true.
Was that your name?
That was
when you created
the name of my wrestling character.
Black Magic.
Nice.
Can we play No Mercy for game night?
And
I wish. Is that on that Nintendo backwards compatibility?
It is not.
No.
Because I think that game had Chris Benoit, who murdered his family.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
No. That wasn't Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit absolutely murdered his family.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Chris Benoit?
Yeah, it's Chris Benoit.
Yeah. They stripped his name from like all WWE.
Oh, right. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, I was thinking of, I don't know why, I was thinking of Eric Bischoff.
He did not murder his family. That is very slanderous. He murdered 0 families.
Yeah, that's not what happened. But all right. So any last thoughts about the rumors? Again, these are rumors. Nothing in regards to this or the Mandalorian MMO are concrete. This is just scuttlebutt around the gaming industry. Any other thoughts about the possibility of, those studios being sold off from either you guys or the chat?
Did Gotham Knights have a release date?
I think they gave a year last time. I
think it's coming out the end of the year. It got delayed to the end of the year, and Suicide Squad got delayed till next year, I believe.
Okay. Because they're both showing 2022 for some reason.
So Suicide Squad definitely got delayed till next year. But I think October, maybe? I bet it's coming out in October. Not Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. From how that game looks, it's definitely at least an additional year after whatever they delayed. Like there'll be another delay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like they just haven't really shown much of that game outside of just
That one
these
gameplay.
very tiny slices.
It's also crazy. That game, Arkham Knight, came out in June 2015.
What, the trailer?
No, Arkham Knight, their last game.
Sorry.
No,
the
last Batman game. Yeah.
What's the? Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Gotham Knights. That's the one.
All the
games
have bad names. All the games have bad names. Make better names. But yeah, so they've been they haven't released a game in 7 years. By the time this thing comes out, 8 years. That's a long time.
Yeah,
Imagine
they've been working a while on
in
this.
that time, FromSoft has released Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring.
Wow,
and Daracene,
twist
the
the knife.
PSVR demo. Let us not forget about Daracene.
How was that received?
I don't know. I didn't even play it.
That was an experiment. I mean, they're owed.
Yeah,
like they can get one of those.
Yeah. Also, like in
but yeah.
theory, I want FromSoft to make like a weird VR thing. Make me like a spooky Bloodborne. Like have a bunch of like goop wolves attack me in VR. That sounds great.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound great. Actually,
As soon as I said goop wolves, I knew Jesse was on board.
Yeah, you sold me right there.
Yeah.
FromSoft Goop Wolves. I'm in.
Yeah.
Throw VR on it. All right, cool. Now I gotta get VR.
Yeah.
John Wombly in chat says, I predict they'll order a Peacemaker game after Suicide Squad, or he'll be a downloadable character.
Oh, he'll be downloadable if not a main character. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting now because I feel like
The
Peacemaker.
popularity that's probably why they took time off because of how popular the show was.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody anticipated it was going to be that good.
No.
So they're like, let's take time off and write Peacemaker into this game.
Yeah.
DLC,
Friendship with Harley Quinn is over. Peacemaker is my new best friend.
All right.
Hungry Ombre says, is Telltale still alive? They could make a good Peacemaker game.
They
Like
are.
a story-driven one?
That could be interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're working on an Expanse game. Tales from the
gonna be like-
Borderlands.
Because they got
Right,
bought
yeah, the
by-
Expanse game is still coming.
There's
And
another
Star
into the Borderlands coming out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands, Expanse, Star Trek, and then Wolf Among Us 2 is outsourced.
Because
Not
they closed and then got bought by Robert Kirkman's company, Skybound, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then a bunch of ex-Telltale people opened the other studio that is working on, I can't remember its name, but they're doing the Wolf Among Us 2.
Okay.
It's all very confusing.
Yeah, that's very confusing.
Also, a bunch of those games we mentioned probably aren't coming out. A bunch of them will probably get canceled.
Yeah, we can only wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
That Expanse game, though, I hope that's good because I love.
I hope that's good too, and especially like who it's centered on. Like hell yeah, give me more her.
Yes.
What was the
Drummer?
I know we passed MMOs, but what was that one MMO that they showed that looked really, really good? It was Crimson something.
Crimson Desert.
Yes.
You know what that
That's the
team's
same
working on?
The same people who's making Dokuvi.
The heck is Dokuvi?
Jesse, you haven't seen the trailer for Dokuvi?
Were you not
It's
on the
weird
stream? Where we were losing our
K-pop fever
goddamn
dream.
It's the metaverse.
Yeah, but it's the metaverse if the metaverse was good and pure and what I want.
It definitely looks like everything they wanted Ready Player 2 to be.
Yeah, it looks like something a weed wizard would make. If you gave a weed wizard unlimited time and money to make a game, that's what he'd make. He'd make Dokuvi.
No, that's something a weeb wizard would make.
Oh, there it is.
Not a weed wizard. It is anime AF.
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen this trailer.
You must have.
Yeah, I did.
They were so happy or surprised, I guess, at the response from their original reveal at the Game Awards. They made like a weird music video where the characters just danced, and everyone was very, very disappointed in it.
What I'm hoping for is we're like a month away from Summer Game Fest, and Keely's got to lock down another Dokuvi trailer.
They got to show us more of that game.
Dokuvi
Give us a
dopamine.
date.
Yeah. Give me a year. I don't even care what the year is. You can say like 2029. I'll be like, great. I'm in line.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
Let me know.
All right, then. I guess that does it for this episode. Marty, why don't you let folks know where they can find you and what you'll be doing on the internets?
I just want to watch the Dokuvi trailer. You can find me at McBiggity. My name is right there. You can, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. Also at McBiggity. I've been streaming relatively consistently. Bunch of classic games. I did Link to the Past, Banjo-Kazooie, the new Kirby game, Link's Awakening, and now I'm doing Ocarina of Time, which is going swimmingly. And then, check us out, all the Escapist stuff. We have all the usual streams this week, even though Nick's out. So we're going to have slightly something else. Casey and I will be playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night tomorrow, at 3 p.m. Central. So, come hang.
Great. Jesse, how about you? What do you got coming up?
Oh, man. I'll Twitch and Twitter up there, RexCon Jesse. I'll be doing some gameplaying and editing for the next episode of Behind Schedule over on my Twitch and YouTube channel. RPG Help Desk on Wednesdays. And I have a new, 3MR that'll come out next week for The Escapist.
What's your behind schedule? Have you announced it yet?
The one that I'm editing right now is Gothic.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
The Euro dank
the origin
MMO.
The origin of Asset Bugbeat.
Yeah, except Bugbeat, that game. So that's what I'm editing. And then I finished playing Jet Set Radio, which will be the next one. So
you're gonna be mean to that game, though, aren't you?
Jet Set Radio?
Yeah, you're gonna be mean to it.
I will be direct about my feelings. Okay, I will express myself. I will explain. I will offer benefits for certain doubts.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna like it.
Are you a big Jet Set fan?
I'm a very big Jet Set fan.
Do you think the game controls well?
I do not, and I think the reason I'm a big Jet Set fan is because I played it when it first came out, and it's like largely nostalgia based. You
just summarized probably a huge part of a 20-minute video into 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. That's why Marty gets paid the big bucks. Jeff, how about you? What do you have coming up?
Man, Monday, tomorrow, day after today, I'll be doing another Elden Ring Fight Night, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Open Party channel. Come and check that out. Probably be... So, if you didn't know, Twitch doesn't like when you simultaneously stream to YouTube and Facebook Gaming. They're supposed to be changing that. Yeah, they're supposed to be changing that to where you can, if you're affiliate or partner, you can stream to both. But some streamers were getting like a 70-30 split for their ad revenue. They're supposed to be now putting everybody at 50-50, but to compensate for that, they're going to be making it so that way you could simultaneously stream to YouTube or Facebook Gaming and not get penalized. So
how would you be penalized?
So if you're a partner or affiliate, you could lose your status. I think if you're a partner for sure. If you're caught, doing it on both at the same time, I think you have to supposedly wait 24 hours to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, that's the rule.
Yeah.
I'm glad they don't pay attention to my Twitch then.
Yeah, but
like I was following that rule early on when I got affiliate, and then was like, no one cares what I'm doing. But at the very least, like, because this is also live on YouTube, I don't really acknowledge it. I delete the live version and then re-upload a video version that launches 24 hours after. So like that's
this is live on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Are there people in the YouTube comments?
Fun fact. I mean, I don't really see those comments. Like, if they were, I'd be able to see their message. But I feel like a couple of people watch on YouTube. They don't really talk in the chat though.
But they're getting rid of that. But they're also lowering it. So I know a lot of mostly it was people who've been with them for a while who were like very high partners. We're getting that 70-30 split. But they're making it across the board 50-50. But they're also supposed to be redoing their ad share revenue. So what the ads you do, you pretty much get like pennies on the dollar. They're supposed to be reworking that so that way it's a little bit more, but also open it up to where you could stream simultaneously to other platforms. So I'll be doing it on YouTube and on the Twitch channel. So come and check it out.
Sweet. As for me, you can find me here on this Twitch channel at SableGears9. Some of you folks in chat may have noticed that there's a Stream Elements thing spamming a code for some open HelloFresh free trial things or whatever. Feel free to click on that if you're interested. I'm going to start pushing that probably starting tomorrow. And I'll be streaming more often throughout the week in order to get those obligations handled. Because it's the first sponsorship that I'm taking part in. So I hope you guys will help me out with that.
Oh yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, it is.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. But outside of that, Jeff and I will be back on the Open Party channel later today for Super Smash Sunday. 3 hours of 1v1 Smash excellence, as we like to call it. Don't be afraid though, because we definitely help folks who are newer to Smash try and get better if they're interested. So like we have a lot of folks who are like, oh, I don't know about this game at all, who have played with us over the weeks and who are much better.
Oh yeah,
like Blue is one of them.
Yeah.
Blue used to suck at Smash.
Yeah. DJ's gotten better. He just recently started.
Yeah,
playing.
DJ got a lot better in a pretty short time too.
Minnow got a lot better in just a couple weeks. So it's definitely see the growth in people who come in and play, and it's a very welcome and friendly environment. So we don't have any of the toxic stuff you would normally get on playing online. So definitely come out.
Yeah, we boot anyone who dares to try and bring that.
Don't start the match early, please. Don't start. That's when the dad part comes out. So definitely don't start the match early.
Yeah, so even if you're not interested in playing, there's usually like really fun conversations. So, hang out with us. We'll be on 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Open Party channel. So head over there when you get a chance. But as for that, just follow the Twitter, same tag as well, and you'll see other stuff I'm doing throughout the week, especially Escapist stuff. I should also have a 3MR dropping on the channel soon. And like Marty said, we'll be doing the Castlevania stream on Monday and other stuff throughout the week. So thanks everybody in the chat. Really appreciate you coming through. Once again, thanks to my 3 hosts this week. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.